Detectives looking into the possibility of bad blood between rival rappers. Several months ago in North Carolina, young Dolph's SUV was shot at 100 times. Witnesses heard the shots here in Hollywood, and nearby security video captured a person running from an SUV.
Young Dolph was born Adolph Thornton Jr. Yes, his real name is Adolph. He took the name Young Dolph after his first few releases failed to catch on, rapping under the name Lil Hitler.
The most famous Adolf, not the most
Jewish,
popular.
So he's thinking about Adolf Hitler.
I don't think you just have to be Jewish to think Adolf Hitler.
We ain't even. He in the past. We ain't.
So
got,
so that wasn't a thing that you ever came up really.
But he is lucky for having such a unique name, and actually Young Dolph is America's third favorite Dolph, right after Dolph Lundgren and Dolph from The Simpsons. Dolph had a tough upbringing in Memphis, Tennessee, and in his raps he often mentions the hard time that he had growing up, including the fact that both of his parents were crackheads, which does kind of explain why they named their son Adolph. In 2008, he nearly died in a car accident, which he described as the wake-up call he needed to start taking music seriously. And he's also lucky in that his near-death car accident didn't make him a complete arsehole like Kanye West. From 2008 to 2017, Young Dolph dropped an array of mixtapes. This included the high-class street music series, East Atlanta Memphis with Gucci Mane, and of course, Welcome to Dolph World. Turns out that Dolph World is actually the world's most dangerous theme park. There's an arcade where you can play Time Crisis with real guns, or you can get spooked in the haunted bando, or even have your picture taken with the real Young Dolph. Eventually, Dolph released his first Billboard charting mixtape, Rich Crack Baby, and he was also famous for hitting Billboard at position 35 on the track Cut It with OT Genesis. That price is way too high, you need to cut it, that one. He then went on to drop his debut album, The King of Memphis, which ended up peaking at number 49 on the Billboard chart. However, things popped off hard for Young Dolph in 2017 when he was in North Carolina, famously the home of DaBaby and deadly Walmart shootings. Here, Dolph was shot at reportedly over 100 times, but managed to walk away unscathed thanks to the $300,000 bulletproof SUV that he was riding in at the time. This was a crazy piece of hip-hop lore, but as we all know, every single bullet gives you clout, as we can measure on the patented Curtis Jackson bullet to clout-ometer. Now, as you can see, you actually get more points for getting hit with those bullets, which is why 50 Cent had a diamond album and why I'm going to have 1 million subs by the end of the year.
You gotta get shot if you want to be a rapper.
That's not true.
Really.
No, not really. When you know you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, anything can happen.
But anyway, why on earth would somebody want to shoot a rain of 100 bullets on Young Dolph? Well, to truly understand that, we've got to look at Dolph's long-running feud with fellow Memphis rap legend and the best rapper for your digestive system, Yo Gotti. Many have speculated that Yo and his collective music group may have had something to do with that shooting. But if you're not as plugged into the hip-hop culture as me, you may be wondering who the hell Yo Gotti is. Well, Yo Gotti, if you don't know, is another Memphis rap legend who's been grinding for over a decade, but in the past few years has had some pretty mainstream hits, including Down in the DM, FU, Rake It Up, and more recently, Put a Date on It. Now, both rappers rep Memphis, Tennessee to the fullest, and their claim to the throne of King of Memphis has been a big part of this beef from the start. However, for the record, Memphis has been the home to many kings of hip-hop over the years, including 8-Ball and MJG, as well as 3-6 Mafia's Juicy J, Project Pat, and DJ Paul, as well as Gotti and Dolph. But at the same time, Memphis was also the home of Elvis, the World Championships of Barbecue, and dreadful sports teams. Go Grizzlies! So let's take a trip down to the home of barbecue and watch this beef simmer. This feud began officially in 2014 when Young Dolph, still a mixtape rapper at the time, began speaking publicly about the fact that he'd turned down a record deal from Yo Gotti and his CMG label. Dolph addressed the declining of this offer in an interview with Sway.
Like, Gotti wanted me to do man, come on, bro, let's do CMG paper route. That's cool. I'm knocking for that. If I was him, I would have came to me like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But only thing was going to happen behind it was people like, oh, he popped off because of Gotti. You feel what I'm saying? Which I can't do that because I got too much of my own time and money invested in it.
Gotti replied to this in a Breakfast Club interview and he sounded pretty positive about things. Now, things were quiet for the next year or so, but then in February 2016, for some reason, Young Dolphin decided to get his flippers in a twist and come out and sneak diss Yo Gotti on Twitter. Now, I'm not sure what went on behind the scenes that triggered Young Dolph to tweet this, but I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that the week after he had his first album, The King of Memphis, drop it. Now, naturally, this album title ruffled a few feathers in Memphis, and it would have been reasonable to think Gotti and the general public would have seen this as an attempt by Young Dolph to try and take that crown as the King of Memphis. Now, keep in mind that Gotti, amongst other people, were known for calling themselves the King of Memphis in their raps, as well as on Gotti's own Twitter page. That same day, Yo Gotti and his CMG artist Black Youngster passed through the Breakfast Club to do an interview about Gotti's song Down in the DM hitting the charts. It's a hilarious interview where for some reason Black Youngster decides to count $200,000 in cash throughout the entire thing.
What is this?
Okay, all right, that's what I'm talking about.
You
This
about
is the
to print
movie
up
I'm
some
talking
money?
about.
I'm in the mood swing right now.
Yo, Gotti's like, what is this guy doing? This is my artist?
Oh, whoa.
Okay. Now,
Can I get a plug though?
goodness
Can
gracious.
I get a plug? I'm gonna count 200 out
He
real
got-
quick.
there's a
Cool.
plug
I
right
got about
here.
100. All right, what you got? Yeah, how much you got in your pocket? I got about 100.
And whilst Dolph's King of Memphis project isn't actually mentioned in this interview, it does get brought up that Yo Gotti did kickstart his career by dissing members of 3 6 Mafia.
Now, one of your first records, you were actually going at 3 6 Mafia in your first record.
My first record.
A week after that, Dolph appears on a Hot 97 interview and talks on the Gotti beef. Now, he doesn't necessarily have anything new to add, but he does say that the two aren't on speaking terms.
Okay, so have you and Yo Gotti had a conversation lately? Have you guys nothing? And you're not interested in having that conversation?
It ain't no pressure with me. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's like people don't understand. Like everybody on the outside looking in. Yo Gotti was texting my phone for 2 years straight. What you doing, bro? What you working on, bro? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do that. Like, it's cool. It's cool. Now, we ain't had no conversation, but if he wanted to, he know what's up. He can call me or call somebody around me, get in touch with me, but, you know, I'm gonna keep doing what I do, regardless. You know what I'm saying?
And it ain't
Because-
no problem.
Nah, it ain't no problem,
Nah,
but it's
I'm
different though. He ain't, you know when somebody like this right here, you know what I mean? It's just like everybody else done came in contact with me like, Dolph, come on, let's do this, bro. Let's put together a joint venture. Or let me sign you. Let's do that. And I be like, no, I rock with you, but I can't do that. But we still cool. We still doing music. We still kicking. We still doing whatever.
Now, the following month, Yo Gotti's CMG artist and serial Twix thief, Black Youngster,
Here, my brother. We
Man,
gonna keep you out of trouble, man.
Okay,
Here,
yeah,
there
thank you.
you go.
Appreciate that.
There you go, Twix for you.
I'm gonna steal the rest of them now. I got to.
decides to throw his hat into the beef officially, calling out Dolph for his King of Memphis claims and going on Instagram and saying that he's gonna slap the shit out of him.
Hey man, I'ma keep this shit G, bro. Dolph, you a bitch. You a soft ass nigga. You nice ass nigga. If you got a problem, nigga, say you got a problem. Shake ass, bitch ass nigga. You ain't no motherfucking king of Memphis. You ain't king of South Memphis. You ain't from the city, bitch.
Now, this video was amazing for 2 reasons. One, Black Youngster is straight raw dog in this bottle of lean, no cut. And secondly, he's wearing a Lamborghini jacket, which just reminds me of that episode of Friends where Joey pretends to have a Porsche. However, Black Youngster is one step ahead and he goes on to prove to the entire world that he does have his own Lambo, well, the Lambo that Yo Gotti gave him, but anyway. He proves to the world that he is really about it by pulling up at young Dolph's block with a whole bunch of goons and dicks looking like a young soldier boy.
We in Castain right now, cuz. What Dolph at, cuz? Where he at, blood? Where he at? Where he at right now? Where he at? Where he at? Where he at?
Where you at,
Where you at? See the Lambo back?
Where you at, dog?
Where you at? Where you at? We in Castain right now. We just left the store. Where you at right now, dog? Where you at right now? Where you at? Where you at?
CMG, bitch.
I love Castain, but I don't fuck with Dolph. Yeah, we don't fuck with Dolph. You fuck with Dolph, cuz? You fuck with Dolph, man. Yeah. Castain love me, boy. You know what's going on, boy.
So clearly, this King of Memphis thing did ruffle a few feathers, but I'd like to call foul on everybody involved because DJ Paul and other members of 3 6 Mafia had been known for calling themselves the King of Memphis for years. To be fair, this seems like pretty erratic behavior from Black Youngster, but I would like to add that he clarified why he did this in a DJ Vlad interview quite a while later, suggesting that this incident was more to do with a personal incident that he'd had with Young Dolph as opposed to the album titling or the Yo Gotti disrespect.
It was a personal issue. You know what I'm saying? Me and homie had a personal issue. I got the phone call. Homie said that, and I'm like, damn, for real? So I ain't want to believe it. But when you turn around, so I'm like, boom, I'm like, man, fuck him.
Yo Gotti then appears in an interview with the British First Minister of Wiggery, Tim Westwood, where he suggests that he's not really in favour of the way that Black Youngster is handling this situation.
Now, what the fuck is going on with Dolph, baby? What is going on with Black Youngster? What is going on, man?
I ain't no popping, man.
That shit's crazy, man. That video was scary.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little misunderstanding. Ain't nothing really popping. You know, little homie young though. You know what I'm saying? Little homie young and wild in the streets and you know, they just move a little different. You know.
We were fucking crazy.
Yeah, he just moved a little different.
They were popping out some machines and I'm glad Dolph just didn't turn up around the corner. I mean, King of Memphis, for us white folks, there's only one king. Sorry, dog. Sorry. First wait, folks.
Now, Dolph wastes absolutely no time getting even, and he immediately takes to Instagram and disses Black Youngster as well as Yo Gotti, calling them bitches, suggesting that they called the cops on him, and calling them out for dissing 3-6 Mafia early in their careers.
Hey, I've been spraying your bitch ass for years, nigga, the whole city know that. Ho Gotti, you was a bitch ass nigga. I just got back to the city, they say you trying to put charges on me and put the police on me. You send your little nigga out to do all your talking. Talk for yourself, bitch ass nigga. Hey, that big head Down syndrome looking motherfucker hate on everybody from the city that gets some real money. You start out hating on 3-6, nigga, and they were having Oscars and shit, nigga. You had to hate because you were broke, nigga. That's the only way you can get attention, boy.
Also, for the record, he showed off some pretty impressive multitasking while smoking a blunt in the shower. I personally prefer a bong in the bath. Now, interestingly, that same day, the rapper Trouble releases the remix for his song Ready, which features Young Thug and Young Dolph. Later that year, Black Youngster basically confirmed the fact that this diss was about him, and you can tell by looking at the lyrics. So Youngster rushed to the studio to add a diss song onto the mixtape that he was just about to release, and in that confusion, he didn't actually get a chance to clear this with Yo Gotti. So that diss track eventually came out from Black Youngster called Shake Sutton, and it ended up coming out along with a music video with a bunch of shots that were filmed that same day that Black Youngster pulled up on the block with his goons. To be honest, this was kind of a trash diss track, and nothing really happened for a few months until September, when during an interview, Black Youngster suggested that while things weren't actually squashed, he was over the beef and Yo Gotti doesn't have any problems with Dolph.
What did Yo Gotti say about Young Dolph when that happened?
Man, to be honest, I'm gonna keep it real. This something he probably won't even want me to say. I'm gonna say it because we on the Brother Club, we get exclusive. No, we tell the truth. He actually liked Dolph. Like every time he ever spoke to me about Dolph, like said something, he spoke good about him. He actually like
Gotti and
like,
Dolph.
Man, I shuffle guy. I'm not lying. If Big Homie mad, I said this, I said it. It is what it is. But he actually liked it, man. We ain't never had nothing against him. Like you feel what I'm saying?
But they felt like you was coming at him on behalf of Gotti.
Nah,
coming at Dolph.
You must have heard of this song. Nah, we ain't never squashed it, but I ain't known it no more. I ain't studying it, you know.
And then again, a little while later in October, Youngster once again confirmed that he was over the beef.
You know, I ain't on this shit no more. I ain't studying this shit. I respect what I'm doing, how I'm getting this money. To get your money, I'm gonna get mine. You know, I ain't studying this shit. I ain't on this shit no more though.
Now, things went quiet for a little bit until a few months later in February 2017, when seemingly out of nowhere, Young Dolph dropped a savage diss track called Play With Yo Bitch. This featured some pretty spicy lyrics and a cover art that all seemed to suggest that Yo Gotti's baby mama had hooked up with Young Dolph, and that Yo Gotti had found Dolph's number in her phone and got mad about it. It's also worth noting that in that song, he describes Memphis as Dolphland, which shouldn't be confused with the slightly larger Dolph World or its smaller, smellier cousin, Dolphland Paris. In the track, Dolph suggests that Yo Gotti had dissed him on his 2 Federal mixtape, which was released by Yo Gotti and his CMG artist Moneybagg Yo. Dolph also reiterates on this track that Yo Gotti only got popular from initially dissing 3-6 Mafia after he was rumored to be signing with them. Very similar to the situation between Dolph and Gotti. Gotti took to the high road and decided to respond on Twitter, just reminding the people that he was on some boss shit with Jay-Z and LA Reid and that he wasn't going to stoop to this level. A week later, on February the 7th, Dolph was at an interview at an Atlanta radio station where he elaborated on the diss and suggested that this whole thing came from one of Dolph's guys suggesting that Dolph was being sneak dissed by Yo Gotti on that 2 Federal mixtape. He also suggests that Yo Gotti encouraged Black Youngster to beef with him in order to get Black Youngster's career popping, in much the same way that Yo Gotti got his name popping from beefing with 3-6 Mafia.
Second one come. We in the car now, blazing. He like, bro, you heard this? Such. You like, man, you ain't trying to this. He like, bro, really, bro, his last 2 tapes he put out, you like, I'm like, you ain't heard it? I'm like, no. He like, bro, you gotta keep, I'm like, I don't listen to it.
Right.
So he like, listen to it, play it. I said, oh. Know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
he
thought the coast was clear.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? Like it really didn't make no noise. Right. You see, it ain't make no noise until Dolph just put this song out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He made his artist bring up Dolph's name and tie Dolph's name to his name, right? That's when everybody got, him, such and such. Nobody never knew him. How did he get it first? How did Yo Gotti get pop and get some attention? Nobody heard of him to win till he did 3-6 Mafia.
2 days later, Dolph elaborated further and suggested on DJ Holiday's show that he believed Yo Gotti was sneak dissing him on his previous tapes, The Art of the Hustle and Cocaine Music 9.
Man, they play it. So his last 2 mixtapes,
He's trying to slick this Dolph.
Now, here's where the timeline gets a little bit messed up because a lot of people out there have reported that Yo Gotti responded to this Play With Your Bitch song with his own song called Don't Beef With Me. A lot of people have speculated that this was a sneak diss aimed at Dolph that came out after Dolph's diss. However, it seemed that this track was actually just a retitled version of the song Prayers, which was the last song on that Moneybagg Yo Gotti mixtape 2 Federal, which had actually come out at the end of 2016. Now, I'm not sure if this was some kind of internet troll or news outlet just looking to stoke the beef further and take an old song, retitle it and suggest that it's a new Yo Gotti diss, or whether it's just been lost in translation and this was the original sneak diss that young Dolph was really upset about. But if you go and listen to the song, it just seems like the same kind of generic diss and put downs that you would put on a song, just addressing all of your ops as opposed to anything specifically aimed at young Dolph. But regardless, Dolph kept it moving, and a little bit later that month, on February the 24th, he released the music video for Play With Your Bitch, which featured some pretty hilarious scenes, recreated conversations that him and Yo Gotti supposedly had, and he uses a Yo Gotti impersonator to appear on screen and basically cry about the fact that his baby mama is hanging out with young Dolph. It's some savagery. Also in the video, young Dolph gets one of the most comically bad massages I've ever seen. He recreates some pretty hilarious moments between him and a fictional Yo Gotti. Dolph also drinks from a laughably small bottle of lean. Basically, the bottom line is Dolph went in on Yo Gotti, and there's no way that you could imagine there wouldn't be a response to this. And boy howdy, doesn't seem like they were about any of that talking shit, because only one day after that music video dropped was the same day that young Dolph's convoy was shot up 100 times in North Carolina. This went down during the CIAA college ball tournament, where young Dolph was actually in the city of Charlotte, supposedly to perform at an unofficial after party at the Cameo nightclub. The official police statement says that around 6:30 p.m. on 600 block North Caldwell Street, several dozen rounds were fired from high-powered weapons at multiple vehicles, hitting them indiscriminately only 30 minutes before the final game of the CIAA tournament was scheduled to start at the Spectrum Center. Reports started coming out that Dolph was the target of this shooting, but luckily nobody was hurt because he was being driven in a $300,000 bulletproof GMC Yukon XL SUV. Nice. I gotta say, that must be the one time that you're happy that the guy at the Hertz rent-a-car desk upsold you an optional extra. Charlotte Mecklenburg police said that they were exploring the possibility that people in the music industry were connected to the shooting, but interestingly, Dolph was not fazed by these 100 bullets, and he hit that stage as planned that night and made sure to perform his Yo Gotti diss track to send a message. And just 18 hours after the shooting, young Dolph tweeted, "You loose," with a laughing face. And I'm not sure whether this was his way of saying you lose, or he was just saying that the people tried to shoot him are straight loose. But either way, when somebody tries to shoot at you 100 times, it's safe to say that the block is kinda hot and you should probably keep it quiet for a while. A few weeks later, he appeared in an interview and again downplayed the shooting and refused to acknowledge Gotti's role in it.
Old news. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's old. What you talking about? I don't know what you talking about. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely. If it ain't nothing else, it's entertainment right now.
Then a few days after that, he was actually interviewed on TMZ, once again sidestepping questions actually about the shooting and the details of it, but once again reminding the interviewer that he was kind of glad that he'd spent $300K on that bulletproof SUV. Interestingly though, in that interview, he did still call out his #1 op, Yo Gotti. Black Youngster expressed his disappointment in Yo Gotti not responding to the beef.
I ain't gonna even lie to you. Like, I don't even like how Big Homie move. I really don't. Like, but how he moves, it got him back through his career and through his life. So I can't judge it. You know what I'm saying?
And at the end of that month, on the 31st of March, young Dolph appears on The Breakfast Club and once again downplays that shooting and suggests that the people that did it were some amateurs.
Now you and Yo Gotti, man, why can't you and Gotti just come together and get this money? Ain't gonna never happen.
What you talking about?
You put out the record where you know you talking about his baby mom and all of that stuff.
Play with your
bitch. Oh, you talking about the hardest diss song ever dropped. That's what happened when you get whoever, anybody, like apparently they know what they were doing. And you shoot 100 times and ain't no nothing shake, no nothing, nobody hit no nothing. I need to find another hobby. I need to find something else to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what y'all playing and portraying to be, whatever y'all trying to do, y'all ain't good at it.
And a day later, young Dolph drops his new album, Bulletproof, with the first track being 100 Shots, where he addresses that whole situation that happened. He also added an extra dose of salt by making sure that he had named the track list perfectly so that the whole thing read as one big message to his ops.
I went through the whole track listing in the rumor report, 100 shots in Charlotte, but I'm bulletproof.
I was like, that don't even sound real.
And I was like, no, this is really the track listing.
But he did deny that doing this was baiting further attacks.
Do you feel like it's kind of inviting drama though? Like the name it Bulletproof is kind of like taunting, like on some
I don't even care. I don't even give a damn.
But Black Youngster was arrested in connection with this shooting a few months later in May. He was actually one of 3 men who surrendered to Charlotte police for his involvement in the shooting, eventually catching 6 counts of discharging a weapon into occupied property and felony conspiracy. Black Youngster addressed this whole situation on his mixtape and song I'm Innocent, where he addresses the issue and actually suggests that young Dolph was basically dry snitching and led the police to him on Bulletproof. However, in Youngster's defense, those charges were eventually dropped. But that beef was still simmering on a low heat and looking pretty medium rare. But in September 26, Dolph's ops managed to score a few points, and Dolph ended up getting shot outside of a hotel in Hollywood and ending up in the hospital. Reports say that Dolph's crew were outside of a Hollywood hotel where Yo Gotti was staying, where an altercation and fight ended up happening, where reportedly Dolph was floored in the fight and then somebody pulled a gun and shot him a few times. Dolph managed to get up and flee to a nearby store and eventually was taken to hospital. Initially, fake news surfaced that Yo Gotti was being investigated as a person of interest in this shooting, though this was eventually denied by the police department. But one of Yo Gotti's affiliates, Corey McClendon, was arrested on an attempted murder charge. But not long after this, Gotti appeared on The Breakfast Club denying his involvement and showing off some of the early texts between him and young Dolph. And eventually, Corey McClendon was released from that attempted murder charge. 2 months later, in November 2017, Dolph appeared on The Breakfast Club once again, reaffirming that the beef was over, but continuing to drop a little bit of shade on Yo Gotti. And ever since then, things have kind of quietened down, apart from the occasional jab back and forth between these two. So for now, it seems like the beef is off the grill, but who knows what could happen in the future. So it looks like the King of Memphis crown is still for the taking, and any day, either of these guys could throw that fillet back on the skillet and get things popping. Boom, that's the story, but there's one more important thing that I need to tell you about. Skillshare are supporting your boy Traplaw Ross, so you need to go and support Skillshare. For the first 500 people that click the link in the description or on screen, you will get your first 2 months of Skillshare completely free. And that will give you amazing access to all of the courses that these legends have to offer. And I've got to be honest with you, when I started out in YouTube, making films, making videos, I didn't go to film school, so everything you've ever seen me do on YouTube has been completely self-taught, and there's no better place to go and get those skills than Skillshare. And hey, 2 months of free Skillshare is a pretty long time. Just think how much knowledge you could cram into your brain during that period. And hey, if you like what you see, it's less than $10 a month for you to stick around on Skillshare. So big up Skillshare and big up yourself for supporting Skillshare, because if you support Skillshare, you're supporting me. Sponsors like Skillshare keep the channel running and keep the quality of my videos increasing over time. So thank you for watching, thanks to Skillshare, and until next time, peace out.